Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live, our latest live stream for today. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about something that really fired me up and pissed me off yesterday. And it was a message that I got from a lady who was, thanking me for some stuff and whatever. And that was great for the inspiration and motivation and whatever. But the thing that she shared with me, hey, Kelly, good morning. You're up early. Like 6:15. Nice work. Hey, Tamara. Good morning. You're up early as well. What's with you Queenslanders getting up nice and early? I mean, we were up at the same time that you are. It's just not anyway, you get the point. So live stream, yay. Talking about the stuff that I was talking a little bit about yesterday in the blog, but it really got me fired up. And I guess what I was thinking about is that not everybody has had the experience of being bullied, which is great, right? It's so good. But the thing is that sometimes these bullies can be in disguise. They can look like friends, colleagues, bosses, employees, service providers, team members, family. That one's an icky one. And the thing is that these people, and what we're looking at is the tall poppy thing, right? So the whole thing that happens with these types of people is that they see you doing what it is that you're doing, and it's kind of like they can't handle the fact that you're trying to get out there and do something different. So I suppose if you were to think about it like a flock of sheep, right? And it's not even about being a black sheep. You're just a sheep with attitude. And you're like, no, we're going over here. And the whole flock is like, no. Oh no, that sounds like a horse. No, whatever a bar sounds like. You can't go over there. It's not okay. It's not possible. Like, you've got to stay with the rest of the herd. And they start freaking the frog out, right? They start freaking out because you're just like, I don't want to go over there with you anymore. I want to go over here and do my thing. And they just don't know how to deal with it. So it's a form of bullying. Now, I've not been knowingly bullied until I was an adult. I shared yesterday about a group of women that formed an I Hate Nicola Morass group in 2013. And I don't know what it was that I actually did. I don't know that I even did anything, but the only thing that could possibly have been, for me, the instigator of that was something around I provided a service to someone and then they wanted a coaching service. So not buying a product or anything. They bought me. I fulfilled that promise, and then they turned around and said that they couldn't pay me. And I said, well, you've got two choices. You can either pay me or you don't. But if you don't, you're not ever welcome back into the community. I'm not okay. And it was like to the tune of about $8,000. It's like you can't actually not pay, and then I write off that debt, and then you come back later and want to work with me again. That would be, fool me once, it's on me. Fool me twice, whatever that say. That was a really shit version of that saying. You get the point. Hey, Joe. Good morning. You're up nice and early too. I like it. So I guess where I'm going with that is I held a boundary with that person, and that's the only thing that I can actually think of. It's like, well, actually, it's got to be self-respectful to me, and it's actually respectful to them, drawing that boundary, letting them know whatever choice they choose to make is totally up to them, but there will be consequences. Not necessarily, consequences doesn't have to be negative, right? It's just there will be something that happens as a result of those decisions that you make. If you go gluten-free and if you choose to eat gluten, you know that there will be a consequence, so to speak, of you making that choice and decision. If you decide to go to the gym and do a really hard workout where you're working every single muscle group, there's going to be a consequence to that choice. So the consequence doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but there is a reaction to the choices that you make. So I outlined this for her, and she chose to not pay me and exit the community. And essentially it was just like, done. Okay, great. So anyway, they decided to form an I Hate Nicola group. Now, what these people actually did was they then actively recruited other people in my community to join this I Hate Nicola group. So it grew and it grew, and anyway, it was just a disaster. It really rocked me. It knocked me about. But what was really lucky, whatever, by design. I also had a stable of clients at the time where it is accountability, Tamara. You're completely right. Hey, Georgina. I had a group of clients at the time who were just incredibly loyal. They were just like, Nicola, this is what's going on. I just want you to be aware. I'm not even looking at it. I don't want to know about it. But I really wanted you to be aware. So that was really important that I had that loyal group of people. Because had I been really early on in the business, that would have been something where I may have chosen, you know what, this is just too damn hard. I'm done. It was just really good for me that I had some people around me, both coaches and mentors. I had support people around me and some really amazing clients. And then we had another instance where some other people decided that I was evil incarnated and decided to do some not very nice things, and I had another lady go completely haywire and lose her shit at me because she wasn't taking personal responsibility for what it was, like for her actions, essentially. So I guess where I'm going with this is that sometimes the bullies aren't necessarily outside, right? They might not be an anonymous face on the internet that you don't really know. It might be somebody in your community. It might be a friend, a family member, someone like that. Now, to me, these tall poppies show up in various different ways, shapes, and forms in order to really kind of, I guess, it's almost like they're there to help us grow. I was going to say teach us a lesson, and I don't think that's actually, I don't like that phrase. I think they're here to help us learn something. And whilst I don't wish this upon any of you, the fact of the matter is that you are probably in your journey as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as being that sheep where the whole herd is going that way and you're like, namaste, motherfuckers, I'm going over here and barking up my own tree. You go off over here, then there are going to be some natural, often, consequences to that choice that you decide to make. And people will like to share their opinions with you. So they might be like, I've had people say, and this woman, actually, I talked about her yesterday. She's gone and deleted all of the comments. So luckily I screenshotted them. She deleted the pros that she had on my page where she said that I was inauthentic, that I was full of bullshit, that I was manipulative and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, okay, I don't understand where you're coming from, but this is what I said and why I said what I said and why I did what I did and whatever. She was more of a, you know how you get some people who are just mismatches? They're always looking for a reason to distrust you. They're looking for a reason to not take your freaking amazing advice on board. They're looking for reasons to not do the work or make excuses or whatever. Like they make you the bad person instead of actually, fronting up, looking in the mirror and owning their own shit. Often, not all the time. But anyway, so where was I going with that? So that's right. So people are always going to be there, like sharing their opinions. Now, this is where having a really strong core message, a really strong core foundation, a really strong attitude and resolve, actually was the word I was looking for, around what it is that you're doing and why it is that you're doing it. Hey, cheeky. Because when you go and do something different, you'll have people go, oh, that's a little weird. Don't you think that's a little bit risky? Oh, I couldn't do that. You're spending how much money? and you're doing what? You know, it's almost like, so Valentina and I play roller derby, and one of the comments that, I don't know about if you get cheeky, but the questions that I often get, or the comments I often get, is like, oh my God, that's so violent. I was like, it's not actually, it's just the best fun on the face of the planet. So, you know, everybody's going to have their opinion. And it's up to you whether or not, number one, you choose to take that on board or not. Or number two, whether or not you even allow the space for that opinion to even come to life, right? So for example, like my friends, they don't even, like, they might say, oh, how's work going? I'm like, yeah, it's great. Like, that's it. My in-laws are the same these days. Like, how's it all going, Nicola? And I'm like, yeah, it's great. Even if it has not been great, my standard response is, yeah, it's great, right? So the thing is that there are so many people around you that will say to you that they're looking out for your best interests, that, oh, I don't think your people will agree with that, or you have too many words, or you talk too much, or no one's going to read that big long sales page, or no one's going to listen to that, or nobody's up at that time of night, or people don't respond to that, you know, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. There's always going to be people that'll pop up in your world that will almost try to throw you off course. And my thinking is this, it's not necessarily, sometimes it's their fault, but it's not necessarily their fault. They just don't energetically understand what it is that you're doing, where it is that you're going, what your drivers are, and they're just completely different people to you. So for example, one of the things that happens naturally, and this kind of lands a little bit with, for those of you who are familiar with spiral dynamics, kind of falls into that a little bit. It falls into some energy stuff, which is really exciting. And it ties in with like different archetypes that like Jung's archetypes, and how you step into different energies, I suppose, in different times. So my thinking is this, and it's like every time you decide to take a leap of faith, you decide to learn something new, you learn a new modality, you learn a new skill, you do a new course, whatever, and you really take that on board and you embody that and you take the good bits out, what happens is you actually, and more actually, when you choose to live a life less ordinary and you choose to live a life that is inspired by joy, by self-actualization, by service, by you being the best goddamn version of yourself every day of the week, naturally, what happens is your frequency or your vibration, whatever, those two are interchangeable, it doesn't matter. Your vibration, your frequency goes up. Now, if you think about you go up and you go up and you go up, and it's not about becoming better than somebody else. It's just like you're working through your shit, right? You're shedding some of those layers. You're making different choices. You're choosing to operate more in a heightened state, an elevated state, rather than being stuck with the masses where they are tied up in shame, fear, resentment, guilt, blame. I mean, you just got to walk down the street and you can see people looking like they're fucking given up on life. You know, they're zombies looking at their phones, just like existing. They're not living, they're existing. They're living Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day. So if you think about it from a frequency perspective, and it's just factual, this is not judgmental, they're kind of sitting here, right? So you do all this work and you're coming up here. Now, here's what happens, and this is what I was talking to one of the ladies about yesterday. When you choose to raise your frequency, the people here have got a choice. They can either choose to raise their frequency with you, right? And it's not necessarily a conscious choice. They might go, oh, wow, they're so inspiring, rah, 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 and they might come up, but then they're like, screw you and your ability to go and do this. You've got all the things, you know, la, 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 and they come back down. Now, these people can't handle, unless they've done a lot of work on themselves like you have, they can't handle you operating at that level. It's an energetic mismatch. It's like trying, if you've got a magnet and a magnet and you try and put them together, like they get to about here and they just repel, right? They can't handle being around you and they can't handle being around your energy. So what they try and do, again, usually unconsciously, and they don't always know why they're doing what they're doing, they try and drag you back down because it's easier, it's actually not, but they think that it's easier to bring you down a notch rather than them actually doing some work to bring themselves up. So what happens is, as you rise up, you'll find new, like these people will go and you'll find new people to kind of hang around that operate more at your frequency. And then you'll go up and then either some of those people might come up or they might just sort of fall away and fall out of your lives. So I guess where I'm going with that is like the tall poppies are actually low poppies, little motherfuckers. You know, they're down over here. They're almost like that. They might be a little bit evolved, but if you're kind of like constantly working on you, then you're going to have to either find people who are always rising up as well. Otherwise you end up stuck and it's freaking hard. It's like the salmon float, like not floating, what do they do? The salmon swim against everything else, right? So that analogy flew out of my head. It's like the salmon, you'd be like the salmon. You go the opposite way to the whole of everything else that's in the stream, the ocean. Salmon and I'm not getting into that. So that's the little rant on that. The other analogy that I talked about yesterday is like crabs in a bucket. So if you imagine a bucket, like just like a normal everyday household bucket, not the Veleda ones, but just like a normal $2 Bunnings bucket. And if you've got a whole bunch of crabs in there, then you can see that those crabs are going to try and get out of the bucket. And what they do is you'll watch a couple of them from down the bottom. They'll try and, actually they're all moving. It's like this gross thing. I hate crabs. And they kind of like they drag each other down and then they get back up to the top and then one of the other ones will drag it down and then do like that. And then they're just like constantly trying to do that. My opinion and what I said yesterday is like, if you find yourself in a bullying situation or in a situation where people haven't got your back, they aren't cheering you on, there are two things here. I'm just like, namaste, motherfuckers. I'm the bucket. I am not the crab, right? I am not a crab in that goddamn bucket. Whoever just joined, you came in right at the punchline. I am not a crab in that bucket. I'm not going to play your stupid ass game. I am the bucket. So there's that. And I think that is just, I haven't got time, energy or inclination to mess around with stupid people doing stupid shit, trying to sway me off my path. And I know that you don't either, because it becomes insidious and it actually ripples through your whole entire life. Because if you've got an element of doubt in your business, in your offerings, in your skills, in your delivery, in anything, your creativity, if you've got any element of doubt and then that gets almost expanded upon because you've got these assholes coming in and going like bang, then that doubt, that fear, that stuff starts to grow, right? And that's the thing that throws you on your path, throws you off your path. So that's that. I'm the bucket. I'm the freaking bucket. You can go and have your little crab party inside my bucket because I don't want a bar of it. So I think that was one of the lines in the blog yesterday. I'm the motherfucking bucket. So that is that for me today. I just wanted to give you a bit of a razz and let you know that it is okay, that sometimes stuff happens, but it's how it is how you react to it. But also the thing that you've got to remember is that if you've got people around you who are supposedly your supporters, who are supposedly your community, who are supposedly people who have got your back, if they are not willing to instigate and activate the tribe effect, which is where they come in and support you and they're with you. It's like your roller derby team. It's like, don't mess with my bitches. I've got my whole team here, come on, hustle up, guys. We've got this, right? If your circle is not doing that for you, you need a new freaking circle. You need people around you who are supporting you, lifting you up, raising you up. When you're having a shitty ass day, that they've got your back. They're like, actually, remember who you are. You've got this. You know that you can do this. Don't worry about all of the other people out there. If you want to charge what you want to charge, go for it. If you want to do what you want to do, go for it. If you want to do videos, then go for it. If you want to be the kind of person that goes and does this, that, and the other to your body because it's something that you feel like you need to go and do, go for it. We need people around us who are not judging us, who are not second guessing us, who are not sharing their opinion unless invited to. And that's a really key boundary that I wanted to say earlier and I forgot. It's about making sure that people don't just sprout their opinions at you or to you or vomit their crap all over you without you actually asking for it. And I don't think anybody wants to ask for that. So you can draw a boundary where it's like, guys, if you've got nothing nice to say or nothing helpful to say or if it's not constructive or if I don't ask for it, if I need your opinion, if I want your feedback on something, I'll ask you for it, but please just let me be. Because we've got enough going on up here without dealing with all of the other people. And that's helpful if you know, excuse me, if it's a known type thing that happens. I've got ranty because my throat's starting to do something weird. You know, like how I was saying that bullying and stuff like that can be kind of insidious and sometimes it's known and sometimes it's not. Obviously, if it's around you and reasonably close to you, you can nip it in the bud and just or just talk to the elbow because it ain't even worth the extension. You can do a little bit of that action. But more importantly, I suppose it's having a really strong internal resolve, having an amazing circle around you and just really leveraging that. So that is that. And remember that it's not actually ever about you. Nothing that happens externally with all of that stuff is not actually, unless you're doing the wrong thing and then, maybe that's a different story. But we're coming from a place of assuming that you're operating from a place of integrity, authenticity. You're always doing your best. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing by people. You're being you. You're following through on what you've promised, or you're delivering on what you've sold, right? All of that all of that stuff happens. If you're not doing that, then calm as a bitch. But I'm assuming that you're doing the right thing here. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. It's really irrelevant. Or what they're saying. Just focus on you, put those blinkers on and do the best and the right thing for you at all times. And that's all anybody can ever ask of you. So that's that. Now, if you are looking for, I just wanted to talk really quickly this morning about Champagne Supernova. If you're looking for a way to really develop some of this important success mindset, you might be looking to expand on your message or really make sure that you're developing your thinking this year. So I was talking a little bit about this yesterday, and I think it's really important in our marketing, in our messaging, in everything that we're doing is around having a really strong foundation underneath us to support the claims, I suppose, that we make online, right? Because otherwise it's kind of unfounded. So what I mean by this is you've got to have ways of being able to demonstrate your intellectual property, ways of demonstrating and supporting your thinking, your theories, the results and stuff like that you've got. So, and then obviously the other thing I was talking about earlier today is around making sure that you've got a really strong, solid, supportive circle around you of people who are just backslapping, yeah, you've got this, but then who are also going to say, hey, I think you're playing it safe. I actually think that you can do more. I actually think that you have got, why don't you go and do this? And then you might say, oh yeah, well, I was thinking about that, but I was a little bit afraid. Those people are going to go, get out there and do it and let me know that you've done that. And that's the power of being in a group of people or having a circle around you who are all like-minded, but different at the same time. So if you're curious about that, then you can go and have a look at Champagne Supernova. It's the latest thing that I am talking about at the moment. I am so excited about it. So one of the ladies mentioned yesterday on a post that I put up, Gerda, She was a client of mine a few years ago. She's been up to Mildura. She's been to Adelaide with me. She's been to Mildura with me. And we haven't worked together for, I reckon, maybe, golly, I'm not sure if it's maybe 2 or 3 years now. Oh no, maybe 3 years. All my timing gets all really confused. I feel like we live about 55 lifetimes every year, when you're doing that frequency increase thing. It's just so weird. So anyway, Gerda commented on one of my things yesterday, and she's like, oh, I'm just going to check dates, and then bang, she's like, okay, I'm in. So there's reasons that people who have been in rooms with me before come back. There's reasons that clients who have been working with me for years are still working with me. And it's not just about me. It's also about the environment and the community that gets created as a result of doing what it is that we do. So if you're curious to find out what we're going to do over those 2 days, you can go to the link. I've popped it in there. Total shameless plug. It's going to be freaking amazing. It's in my penthouse on the Gold Coast. I'll call it mine. My penthouse on the Gold Coast. It's freaking luxurious and delicious and awesome, and you're going to absolutely love it. There are only 10 places available, so if you're wanting to get in, then get in. There's super generous payment plans in there, so you can access those. What the key things that we're going through over those 4 days, we're looking at your mindset. So it's a little bit about creating this, your success mindset, right? Working through, well, is there anything going on that's going to hold you back from getting up to that, like from increasing your frequency to increasing your income, to increasing your business, increasing your clients, increasing your output, whatever it is, whatever it is that you want to achieve and strive for and hit your goals, we're going to go through the mindset of all of that. Then, of course, we're going to work on your message, because your message is crucial to everything, is paramount to everything that it is that you do. Mine, as you guys know, my whole message is around visibility. Everything's about being visible, being authentically visible, and also really embracing that rock star, freaking badass energy, mindset, and almost tonality sometimes in everything that you're doing. So we'll go through your messaging. And then the natural flow onto that, of course, is marketing. We're in the business of making money. Yes? If you're not making money in your business, you have a hobby, and that's just the fact of the matter. Or you're operating a charity. Thinking if there is an alternative to that. You're either in business to make money, or you're running a charity, which even charities make money. So the whole point of doing anything in terms of this stuff is to be able to, number one, do the work that you're here to do, that you were put on earth to do, that you were given these beautiful and amazing gifts and talents and things like that. Yes, we want to practice that, but it's also about you making sure that you're doing all of the things that you can do, and then building the business around that, around you being who you really are, will actually help you to then make money, right? That's the point of it. And then the fourth M is around that masterminding. Every time I run an event, and I run them regularly, whether it's a large room event, whether it's a small intimate event, the power of having other people in a physical room is so incredibly powerful. Not only that, yes, online groups are great, and the masterminding that can happen in there is amazing, but there's something magical that happens when you're in a room. So I'm really excited to open that up and share that with you. I am probably, there's 10 places available. There's no more. I think I've capped it at 12 at the moment, 12 places that will be available. So I think that means that we must have maybe 5 left, I think. So if you're curious about that, jump in. It's happening on the 3rd and the 4th of May. We are on the Gold Coast in the best hotel. I'm going to say that it's actually the most beautiful hotel that I've been to, possibly in Australia. Although I did see photos of the Versace hotel up on the Gold Coast. I might have to do something there later on in the year. But I haven't been to that one, but I think this particular hotel is just beautiful. It's crisp, it's clean, it's modern. It kind of feels, it's luxurious. It actually feels like home when I go there. It's really delicious. So that is that Champagne Supernova. Get on it. There is a normal option, and then there's also the VIP option if you want to work really closely together for a whole entire month. Imagine me in your ear and you in my ear for a whole month with a 2 days event like sandwiched in the middle. You and me on the phone going back and forth, kind of jamming like every day if that's what's necessary in order to really accelerate, move you, get you going, give you the accountability, give you the ass kicking that sometimes you need. I know I need ass kicking. I really like it. I might be a bit of a sadist. Sadist? Masochist. Which is the receiving one? I can never remember. I don't really know. I really love it when I've got mentors or coaches or close people around me who are just like, Nicola, you're full of shit. You can do this. You can do more. You could go and do the blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right. I know. Sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees, right? So if you want that level, then, bring it on. It would be really awesome to hang with you and work with you. And, if you've got questions about anything, hit me up, let me know. I'm really happy to answer anything that you have got. All right, guys, have a really beautiful, fabulous, and amazing Thursday. Thanks, Cheeky. Yeah, it's always roller derby references, right? The way that I think about it, like that's what I love about roller derby. I like a bit of punishment. I like being, on the roller derby track. I don't love being hit hard, but I love the ability to be able to just be really strong. And I think that's really the key there, isn't it? It's about developing that internal strength. And business is the same. You've got to have that internal strength. You've got to be okay. Like in derby, we get low and we're really kind of braced if anybody's going to come in and hit us or sideswipe us or try and push us out or anything like that. And really in business, we've kind of got to develop that really strong core so that if anyone tries to knock us off course or knock us off at the track, we're just like, nah, or you're just like, and it's not even about hitting them back, right? It's just about, just being really clear about where you're going and being really kind of like one-eyed focused around that. So gotta love the derbs. All right, everybody, happy Thursday. If you've got questions about Champagne Supernova, hit me up. It'd be really awesome to talk with you about that or just enroll because you know that you just need to freaking be there. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, press finish, Nicola.